Initiating banter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Burbage 3001 is trained to recognize all board-approved actors. Greetings, fellow star. Your performance in Maverick Johnston's latest drama was memorable. Burbage 3001's programming is frequently upgraded to adhere to board-certified standards. The most recent upgrade was performed by Spencer Woolrich. Banter protocol exhausted, reverting to default behavior, grieving and despair. Oh, Halcyon Helen. May your atoms be commended to the Aether. Burbage 3001 was designed to disrupt Halcyon Helen's monopoly over the Aetherwave serial market. This unit's programming is based on Helen's most famous roles. Burbage 3001. Anything Halcyon Helen can do, this unit can do slightly worse. This unit has been programmed to simulate existential dread. Watch Burbage 3001 contemplate its mortality in the critically acclaimed drama, Waiting for Results. This unit has not yet completed its grief cycles, randomizing despair tables. Oh, Helen, is there no justice in the world?
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you? Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about. It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know? I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keen's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keen saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off. No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know. Oh, Brady was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Birdie was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Birdie steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them. What? Law, no. Birdie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen. Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty. What can I do for you? About half my life. You know I was named third most profitable investment on 2 non-consecutive seasons? Ain't a lot of players who can make that claim. Except for the guys who came in first and second, I guess. I spent the last season injured and almost got sold to the Hephaestus Hammers, but now I'm all convalesced, ready to lay into some Cleo darlings, you know? Really break some legs. Since it's the off-season, we're helping support the launch of Rizzo Spectrum Brown. Meet the fans, sign tossball cards, that sort of thing. How about you, fella? You after a signature?
Nah, I think I'll pass.
He's just being coy. Anyway, where was I? Just between you and me, Rizzo's ought to cancel the whole event out of respect for Miss Helen.
Multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room. Woolly cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodations. Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum. An accurate observation, Inspector. This woolly cow is suffering from symptoms consistent with a hangover. A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club. Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1. A single footprint, size 10, tossball cleat-sized. The soil in this residue contains a very high concentration of oxygen. Well done, Inspector. The weather monitoring station at the pilot house substitutes for a terraformer. The soil in his footprint likely came from there. The charred fragments of a letter lies at the bottom of this wastebasket. Your observation is correct and quite astute.
Well, I'm stumped.
Someone burned this letter shortly after Halcyon Helen's death.
Swear to the architect, Matthias, if you've lost your rifle's ionization coil again. Oh, wait, you ain't part of my crew. What do you want? Tightly wound? Tightly wound? Damn right, I'm fine. I'm going to my calm place, where there's peace and quiet, and none of my sprat-fucking subordinates can bother me. On behalf of Slug, I'd like to apologize for that outburst, as well as all of my future outbursts. Yes, I'm a little wound up. You would be too. Between the landing pad, lockdowns, gate closures, and constant questions from angry guests, I've got a lot on my plate. And if that don't beat all, one of my crew is AWOL. If you're serious, I'd appreciate the help. He's been missing a few days, and we're low on staff as it is. It's not exactly uncommon for Slug agents to go on the odd bender. They'll pick a place they think I don't know about and hunker down. Usually I don't bother with the discipline and paperwork. Gotta pick your battles. Thing is, they usually resurface within 24 hours, or at least yell for medical help. This guy, not a peep. The missing crew member's Evan O'Connell. He's one of about 2 Slug agents I can trust with more complex tasks than stand here and look tough. Friendly type. Well-behaved, followed orders. Anyone else, I'd think they got drunk and fell asleep in a ditch somewhere, but O'Connell's not really the type. He was last stationed at the Wilderness checkpoint. I'd search there first.
The garb on this security guard identifies him as a member of the Rizzo's corporation. His rank would have been that of jawbreaker or higher. This security guard has experienced premature expiration. Evidence strongly suggests a conflict with marauders.
At least he gave his life for a worthy cause.
And if sabotaging the orchards weren't enough, you had to make it personal. You really had to bust my Insta coffee maker too? The nerve.
Hold that asinine thought. Who is this armed stranger who just wandered into your office? Back up for a fight you can't finish?
What the hell are you talking about? I don't know this fella. I think it's mightily more likely that he's under your payroll. Here to burn down what you haven't already.
I see. Just a visitor, then. Congratulations, Hathaway. Not everyone's abandoned your orchards.
Well, shame that you're trying to change that. Anyway, sorry for the heated reception, stranger. There's just been some trouble here of late. Name's Overseeing Orchardist Hathaway, and I'm in charge of these orchards. Though it seems like certain groups, which will remain unnamed, are trying to change that. Looks like I'm stuck playing the part of customer service rep. Guess it's different from the usual, at least. Something I can do for you? Yeah, just another woe to add to the pile. In the past, the orchard subcontracted security work from Slug. You know, keep the malcontents on staff from causing too much trouble. But between the Spectrum Brown unveiling demanding all of our resources and the recent uptick in worker accidents, we just ain't got the budget for security. And, of course, Slug has decided that instead of being reasonable, They're just gonna sabotage our operations until we start paying them again.
Look at the poor Rizzo's manager, lying about Sublight to make himself feel better. Shame he skipped where Rizzo's was short on our payments months before the new unveiling.
Look, at the end of the day, it's obvious that Slug is sabotaging us. I ain't paying until they come clean. Oh, nothing particularly troublesome. Just rogue exterminator mechanicals, opening fire on anything that twitches within 300 yards of them. We've also got a large group of new saplings, all dead from some kind of toxic substance. Poison, I'd guess. And who could forget the tower processing console, which probably just shorted out and stopped working on its own, even though it's outfitted with 3 separate backup systems?
There are a suite of explanations for what could have happened, most pointing to Rizzo's worker incompetence. My people didn't sabotage anything.
It's the strangest thing. Like everyone forgot their 10-minute workplace safety seminars. That's twice as long as the next leading brand. Our people should be safety experts. But I've seen folks step on open electrical wires, drop pallets on each other. One damn fool even blundered into a wasp-keto hive. Even as he died, he looked fairly pleased. Thank the law, some good news. You hear that, lapdog? Truth's coming. Better fess up while you still can outside of an interrogation room.
While I'm sure you'd love to have a scapegoat on whom you can pin your own incompetence, I suspect you'll be disappointed. But what do I know? I suppose it's up to your new hiree. I'm sorry you had to come in on such a brusque conversation. Not everyone appreciates the work Slug does on Eridanos.
Especially not folk that Slug is trying to extort.
All right, it seems I need to say it yet again. We're not stomping upon your purple berries or knocking your workers off the planetoid. All we want is for you to pay your dues.
And I want you to stop setting our exterminator mechanicals loose and breaking our machinery.
This is how the conversation has gone for the last hour and a half. As you can see, it hasn't been terribly productive. Well, he's being difficult, as you've no doubt seen. All I'm here to do is enforce an agreed-upon business relationship. But our friend here is disinclined to settle.
Don't tell me to settle. Why don't you settle?
Yes, I'll be sure to do that. I know what you must be thinking, but no, I'm not here to atomize his kneecaps. I just want Slug to get what we're owed. If I hear that question one more time, I swear. Look, we just want to get paid. Hampering our clients' productivity is not a good way to get paid. In fact, it's bad business. Do I? Didn't realize that expecting my company to be paid for its work was extortion. You should try telling that to the board. Regardless, Slug's protection service has ensured that Rizzo's has had 0 problems with its shipments at the docks, and all for a reasonable price. We haven't been hostile when their payments came up short either. In fact, Rizzo's is more of a danger to the orchards than us, considering all the workplace injuries. Much as we love giving the bureaucrats 29% of our profits, technically not. Official contracts have some rather obscene fees and documentation. Instead, our company's opted for a non-official manager's agreement. I'm just here to make certain our friend over there pays on time. You're weird. Generous, but weird. The sentiment is nice, but Rizzo's doesn't just pay money. They're also literally our meal tickets. Unless you also happen to own an orchard, I don't think you can clear this guy. Yes, I think we've spoken enough about that imbecile. What can Slug do for you? Nope. Sorry, but this is the first I've visited this area in over a month. Shame about Helen. Liked her movies.
I could never get past her hair. No one having that many gunfights could have hair that perfect.
Celebs as big as Helen always seem to elicit strong binary opinions in people. But that's neither here nor there. You're welcome to. I don't have any secrets. Certainly. When I'm not out on a job, they usually stick me in the slug mess hall. I may be a service collector, but that doesn't mean I can't make a damn fine triple pie.
You're back, I see. Glad Slug hasn't managed to scare you off.
I think it's more of a wonder that nothing in these law-forsaken orchards has managed to kill them.
How's the investigation going? You got a complete report for me yet? Well, at the moment I can't do a whole lot with this vulture hanging over my shoulder. So I suppose you may as well take your time.
Really now? I consider myself more of a watch canid, here to make sure you don't try to run off without paying us.
There's something else you need to know? Got a lot of dead saplings that'll cost us a lot of bits. I've got a feeling someone poisoned them somehow. The mechanicals were hacked. They're pretty much running amok. If you could keep from destroying too many, I'd be obliged. Would save us a lot. That said, you might want to be careful. Those things are built to take on waspkitos, and waspkitos are generally tougher to kill than people. Just something to keep in mind. The tower processing console is completely fried. Whoever took it out must have used some kind of explosive.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's Rizzo's! Welcome to the Purpleberry Nut Hut, you wonderful, wonderful customer! Thank you for giving my humble existence value.
I don't know if whatever that is catching, but let's keep our distance.
I sure am! Good lamps you got on you to take notice. Oh, that? I call it my little passenger. I don't know why. The name just appeared in my head when this thing showed up on my neck. Don't you dare! Or I'll cut something off you! Gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I just felt this urge to protect my little passenger, even if it means hurting you. Couple of days. Ever since it showed up, I've been feeling happier and happier. I really can't imagine life without my little passenger. I don't know. It just appeared one day. I guess I just picked it up while working in the orchards. Sometimes I wonder how it showed up, and I start to worry. But worrying feels bad, and I hate feeling bad, so I don't worry about it. Now I'd love to get you something, maybe a couple somethings. Whatever you like, I can sell it to you at a low, low price. I'm so glad you asked. The orchards are my third favorite subject, with my first being Rizzo's refreshing drinks and my second being Rizzo's toothsome confectionaries. Our orchards are the source of 63% of Rizzo's total produce, which correlates to 112% of fresh goods throughout all of Halcyon. Give or take a few percent, of course. If you want to know more about each part of the orchards, might I recommend one of our fantastic tours? One of our options is even audio-guided as a special bonus feature. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Our tours are my fourth favorite subject. Every part of the orchards is so rich with Rizzo's lore. Buy a tour ticket and anoint yourself with knowledge. We have 3 tour options: Premium, Premium Plus, and the Golden Ticket. Each option is wonderful in its own special way. Premium includes a 10-minute pass to the Sprat Petting Zoo. Premium Plus comes with a novelty Purpleberry and Amber, and the Golden Ticket is audio-guided in addition to being self-guided. Huh? Oh no, Rizzo's doesn't make me recommend the tour. Helping customers just makes me even happier than I already am, and that's saying a lot. Happy workers lead to happy customers. Happy customers are repeat customers.
I'm pretty sure her face is stuck that way.
I'm not quite sure what you mean. There's really nothing better than feeling a euphoric sense of happiness and self-contentment. Now, I'd be pleased as punch to sell you a tour ticket. Which kind would you like? You're in luck. We have one left. Normally they're 100 bits, but seeing how I'm sold out of everything else, I can give it to you for just 90. How does that sound? That's great. Thank you so much. No, I'm sorry. The only celebrity who shopped recently is Black Hole Birdie. Quite the affable man, as it so happens. And the stories are wrong. He could probably lift 2 benches of tossball players at once, not just one. Laws, not just affable, but virile, too. Ooh, wait a minute. Now that his beau's dead, that means Birdie's single. Maybe I'll strike up a little more than conversation the next time he comes by. Oh my! Birdie, a murderer? Well, everyone has their flaws. I'll be sure not to bring it up on our first date.
These footprints match the shoes previously analyzed in the Grand Ballroom. There is a 110% chance with a 10% margin of error that they were left by Ruth Bellamy, the actress known as Halcyon Helen.
Did you find something? Wow. You sound just like Agent Khan when he's on the case.
Well, sweet hello there, valued visitor. I am sure sorry to break it to you, but our orchards are closed to all officially guided tours at this precise moment in time.
I don't know what's wrong with him, but let's keep our distance.
Why, thank you! Rizzo's encourages all workers to put on a happy face when engaging with valued customers. Rizzo's does beseech you to please purchase one of our self-guided options if you're wishing to join one of our rejuvenative, relaxing, reformatory tours. Now with a Puzzle Hedges trademark maze hunt and special edition taste testing for an extra 35 bits a ticket. Ah, you mean that lovely actor who got herself dead? Damn shame what happened to her. She did come by, but not during any official tour time. I thought she'd hired a private tour at first, but it was Dr. Blossom who was showing her the way to the RR and DD labs. Can't imagine why she'd need to meet with our head researcher on the Spectrum product line outside of her lab hours. Unless, of course, it had to do with the new product unveiling. That's right. She sure made for some lovely adverts. Maybe it might have involved an issue with the launch batch then? I can't rightly say. All I know is one of our certified tour guides could have given her a much more comprehensive tour of the grounds were that her interest. Can't say that I have. We use bad batches of liquor for our pesticides. Only the exterminator mechanicals are armed around here. And I haven't seen any bloody objects aside from the usual pair of gardening shears. Unless, that is, Miss Helen was also stung to death by pollinization mosquitoes? She wasn't, was she? That would be a mighty wretched way to go. Pollinization by killer mosquitoes, indeedy. It's cutting-edge Rizzo's technology. But don't you worry, valued visitor. Our pollinization cycles only run when the orchards are empty, for safety reasons. When a pollinization cycle finishes or is aborted, all mosquitoes are biologically programmed to return to the hive, their holding pen. Of course, the very last thing Rizzo's would want is a beloved tourist bumbling into the hive and triggering an unscheduled cycle, so you'd best steer clear of it for safety. You'll know the hive by its big, glimmering electric fencing. Yes, indeedy. I've got the wondrous honor of having just been promoted to third keeper of the grounds after the last one disappeared on the job. Gosh, I guess about a week ago now. Before my morning clock-in last Sunday, I was but a lowly nanner peeler picker on the line shift. Now I'm responsible for growing every twig and berry on this vast swath of fertile land. Heaven sweet, no. It's not like he was murdered. He simply disappeared without a trace and hasn't been heard from since. And the groundkeeper before that one? Well, she wasn't missing at all. Her body was found near hive control, covered head to toe in thousands of welts. No mystery, and certainly no murder with what happened there. I mean, you can't exactly hold some mosquitoes on trial. Accidents do happen on the job. Can't speak for others, but I most assuredly don't. I reckon you could talk to my supervisor, the overseeing orchardist. He would know more. I used to ask questions, but gee, I just don't feel the urge to anymore. Well now, you certainly are an individual of refined taste. There are folks who defend the premium option and its sprat petting zoo, but once you've been bit by one sprat, you've been bit by them all. Of course, tours of any excess level must be suspended during a scheduled pollinization cycle. Our waspitos are quite territorial and have been known to sting both workers and visitors alike. Gosh and goody gumdrops, but I could talk about the orchards till my lips fell off. Instead, let's talk about whatever interests you, because that's what interests me, too. Why, you say that as if it's a bad thing. I am quite overcome with happiness, indeed. You won't find a Rizzo's worker in all of Eridanos who isn't 100% thrilled in their day-to-day existence. It's part of our brand manifesto. Happy workers lead to happy customers. Happy customers are repeat customers. And repeat customers make the charts look better on our weekly profit reports. So if nothing else, it's my responsibility at all times to smile, smile, smile. And you know what never fails to bring a smile to my face? The breathtaking tours we offer throughout the orchards. Seasonally available for purchase in the Nut Hut. An excellent decision you most certainly won't have cause to regret. Now, presently, you're standing smack dab in the pride and joy of Rizzo's nearly natural product development sector. We call this fecund landscape the Purple Berry Orchards, since that's our main crop. But we also sow and grow mock apples, nanners, pea-free nuts, tarmac, and more. Of course. What kind of investigation? You wouldn't happen to be from the Health Inspection Office, would you? For sure there is. The Health and Safety Bureau is board-run and certified. So in Eridanos, all inspectors effectively work for Rizzo's. Well, and other representative member corporations of the board. It turns out, the other board corps get a hearty chuckle out of harassing Rizzo's with regular safety checks. It's really not fair if you think about it. Just because we own less shares on the board than the others doesn't mean we should have to deal with health and safety inspections when the others don't. Oh, drat. This distresses me, and I do not like feeling cross. But I do have a few bits on me. Mayhaps this amount will put a smile on your face. I warned the orchardist this could happen when we halted our monthly bribe to Slug. They were always a reliable go-between, regarding inspections before now. So, what might you be looking to find out, Mr. Inspector? Did he now? That sounds about right. He has been mightily outspoken in his disdain for Slug in recent months. The overseeing orchardist had the last groundskeeper deliver a contract termination in the place of our regular payment. Rizzo's decided we don't need their services anymore. See, with our new morale-boosting medical treatments, our employees are much more productive. No need for unsightly intimidation tactics. Sorry, I'm not at liberty to say. Trade secrets and all that. You understand, I'm sure. I do hope this pleasant conversation has made me useful to you. Rizzo's likes it when we're useful to customers, and I like anything Rizzo's likes. I can't stop you from poking around, but do be mindful of our pollinization hive. Waspitos tend towards aggressive at the best of times. There's a reason why we keep him behind an electric fence, you know.
Hey! Oh, wait. I'm supposed to say the slogan. Okay, you can do this, Anna. Here goes. It doesn't matter if you're you or me. We're all part of the Rizzo's family. How was that?
It was really... It rhymed.
No jest? Well, that's a wager I sure would have lost. Guess even a busted spectrometer can be right if you hold it to the light, huh? I'm sure you've guessed it, but I'm not the best at remembering slogans. And when I can't remember them, I tend to just make them up. But I guess that's why I'm just an intern and not a full-timer. At least, not yet. What? No, that's ridiculous. I can't tell you I've never made any mistakes, but it'd be pretty hard to keep my job if I were trying to break everything. Though there was the time I tried to fix a broken hinge on one of our mosquito hives and released a swarm. Chased me around the orchards 3 times before I managed to get help. Don't I know it? Worker friend of mine ran afoul of one of the swarms and had to get new kidneys. Not due to renal failure, but because the mosquitoes kept stinging his kidneys. Don't worry though, mosquitoes are typically only about when living folks aren't in the orchards. I am contractually obligated to tell you that mosquitoes never get out during visiting hours. But when they do, the only way to get them to return is to go directly to hive control and activate emergency recall. Which isn't easy, considering all the hives near control. But this is all a departure from what I wanted to say. I've been trying to help the orchards, not harm them. Hold a moment. You haven't found anything, have you? But there's nothing to come clean about. I've just been doing my best out here. It's not so different from being a regular worker, just with less pay and less respect. Oh, it's also more dangerous than traditional employment. You don't have the experience to back up your work yet, but being fired isn't any less threatening. Work-wise, I do a bit of everything. The orchards have been short-staffed as long as I've been working here, so if there's an odd job around, it usually gets passed to me. Laws, you've got a sixth sense for finding the most embarrassing question, huh? My mother is the Rizzo's assistant vice president of flavor testing. She set me up with this position. Mostly to keep me from troubling her work, I think. Consequently, I don't always feel like I deserve to be here. All the more reason to work harder, I say. Much as I love delivering coffee and medical attention, not quite, no. Don't tell anyone I said this, but I sometimes feel that our workers could be treated a little better. Maybe only get electrocuted awake every other day? So I'm shooting for administration in Rizzo's. Maybe even the board itself. Best way to evoke change is from the inside, I think. Much higher chance of promotion. If I can tough it out here without getting axed, I can skip the 5+ years of customer service I'd normally have to deal with. I can prove my merit here and move up in the world. And the sooner I do that, the sooner I can set to improving things for everyone else. I get the feeling you don't think I can do it. That's okay. Trying to improve the system from within isn't the most glamorous thing, but I think it's worth the effort. Happy to enlighten you on the fascinating world of internships. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Unless you already have, and I've forgotten. In which case, I probably won't forget a second time. Oh yes, I thought I saw someone who looked self-important enough to be her by the conservatory some time ago. Not to speak ill of the dead. I simply never liked the way she stole the limelight from the true star. Burbage 3001. I certainly am. That aerodynamic chassis, how the light glints off his rotund head, the way he enunciates, "Cry havoc, and let loose the canids of war." Excuse me, I got a little lightheaded there. Nobody does Shakespeare like Burbage. What were we talking about? Who? I suppose so. I also suppose Helen won't be stealing the limelight ever again.
Hey, what are you doing in here? Are you authorized to be in the conservatory? Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Are you my ex-wife? No, she fell off the side of Eridanos under mysterious circumstances 6 years ago, conveniently rendering our marriage contract null. You must be the new, groundskeeper? That can't be it either, seeing how the new one hasn't died yet. Just who are you? Merciful law, that sounds like a lot of philosophism, which is highly outlawed throughout Halcyon. But I won't report you, considering how heavily armed you are. Bleeding hell. Standing up like this makes a body forget how stiff he gets, bent over plants all day. Oh, seems I'm not as young as I feel. Indeed. Tromped in and out of the conservatory with no heed for anyone else. Good thing none of my charges were damaged. Starlet or not, I would have had a harsh word for her. I heard she pushed her way into a tour of the RR&DD labs not soon after. She's just a serial actress. Yet she acts like she's deserved of the same access as a co-CEO. Well, she's not going anywhere ever again. Which is a shame, of course. Taken too soon and all. I sit inside and I look at plants. Goal is usually to make Rizzo's fruit products hardier and sweeter, but for every success, there are a couple of hundred failures. Example, tried breeding native Tripicale with a foreign strain. Would have called it Hexticale. In the end, it bred so fast, workers were swallowed up before they could harvest it. That one, I think, can be attributed to the waspitos. Some lament their irritability, but their productivity is unmatched. What's a few dead workers in the architect's designs? You say angry. I say efficient. Not only can our waspitos defend themselves, but Rizzo's investments as well. They come through the orchards only during pollination cycles, as dictated by our hive control operators, which means that visitors usually aren't on the receiving ends of their stingers. Well, yes, if there's an equipment malfunction, the pollination cycle will have to be manually shut down, which means traveling to hive control while the waspitos swarm.
Bits of wicker detected, embedded within the chunks of dark matter. Wicker is not a known ingredient of the dark matter product. The only members of a tossball team strong enough to crack a stick in two are the dedicated hackers, like Black Hole Birdie. Whatever Ms. Ruth Bellamy must have relayed to the tossball hacker during their picnic together instigated a furious increase in his usual strength threshold by 52%.
I seen Birdie snap a tossball stick in half before. It happened right after the Darlings stole the quarterfinals from the Rangers last year.
I've already told you 6 times, and I'll tell you 6 more. I don't want a fucking tour! You can badger me all you want. I don't care if I'm from Forest Mills. I'm here as an individual, and I have just as much right to be here as any other visitor. You're welcome to bring a lawyer if you really want to try to force me out, but I can guarantee you that I will bury them. Don't play dumb with me. How many of you fools have I spoken to by this point? 7? 17? Wait a moment. You have all your teeth. You're not soaked in filth, and you don't look quite as slack-jawed as the regular Rizzo staff. Are you not with Rizzo's? My mistake. I'd ask what your intention was for coming here in that case, but I imagine you're not here for the Spectrum Original either. Regardless, please inform me if you'd be interested in a job. I've spent enough time out here that I'm starting to itch. I do not enjoy itching. I'm sure you have questions. I did. You see, Rizzo's has been advertising a contest in the puzzle hedges. Whoever gets to the center first gets a bottle of the first Spectrum ever made, the Spectrum Original. My interest, however, lies with the associated promise, the chance to attend the Spectrum Brown unveiling and meet Halcyon Helen. Indeed, you are a savvy one. Rizzo's can no longer make good on their promise, which means this entire contest is one big fraud case. All I need is a single piece of evidence. With the Spectrum Original bottle, which is located in the center of the puzzle hedges, I will have all I need to sue Rizzo's for all they're worth. That's where you come in. I don't know if you know this, but Rizzo's is on the outs. They're losing power and losing money. This was no doubt a desperate bid to regain some lost clout. That, or their marketing team is particularly spiteful. You know the saying, I'm sure. Why work for a promotion when sabotage takes half the time and a quarter of the effort? Technically, I sue not on behalf of Forest Mills, but for my own benefit. In arbitration, it might be difficult to argue that this contest is designed to slight Forest Mills. However, as it so happens, if my lawsuit takes a chunk out of their savings, then I can collect while also damaging their capital. It's a mutual win. I make millions, Rizzo's falls further from the board's good graces, and Forest Mills products look that much more valuable compared to Rizzo's trash. Navigating the maze is normally no easy task. Rizzo's has no interest in giving their property, however old, away for free.
If that means we're technically stealing, I'm in.
I'm glad you're feeling confident, but this maze is deadly by design. And if that weren't enough, Zimmerman and Navarre don't want anyone sneaking away with their prize. The place is mined and rife with murderous mechanicals. Two buffoons, but persistent buffoons. There's that woman from Glacial Age who has perhaps never had an original idea in her life and hopes to pass the original off as her own. Then there's Navarre, who is strange. I suggested I give her the original after my lawsuit if we worked together, but she wouldn't hear of it. It must be hers alone, it seems. Excellent! I look forward to finally being able to focus solely on legal matters. Oh, and keep an eye out for competitors. Odds are they'll be looking out for the original as well.
Greetings. Have you brought your auto mechanical to the service technician lately? Clever, aren't we? Should be careful. Making accusations like that could get a body into a lot of trouble. Anyway, forget it. You aren't the person I was looking for. You're not covered in a layer of dirt, fertilizer, and self-loathing. Listen, I don't know you, so I'd rather keep my admissions to a minimum without the presence of legal counsel. I was waiting for someone to give me information about these hedges. That's as much as you need to know.
Why do people who are hiding something always have so much to say about it?
I take offense to that, I think. Shh, not so loud. Ah, damn it. I guess you already know. I am indeed looking for the prize. You've caught me. What interest have I in an unveiling? I don't watch much in the way of serials, and crowds only make it easier for people to get behind you. I'm after the Spectrum Original itself. And not to drink. Have you noticed that there's no trace of anything the corporations have done in the past? In fact, this contest for the original is the only time I've ever seen a corp refer to a prototype product not currently on the market. And why isn't it on the market? Indeed. And it's happened before. Seems the Corp are trying to hide their past failings. Anyhow, it's valuable to me to collect that which might inform future generations. Nope. There's a bottom feeder who sees an easy payday connected to it, but he's hardly worth considering. I also briefly engaged with an optimistic young woman intending to use the original as a springboard for upward mobility. Better than letting it rot, but still not ideal. Did you now? And how do you know the others aren't secretly Rizzo's agents who'll stab you in the back and take the bottle the moment you turn away? Give me the original and your actions will actually matter. I can promise you that. Think fast. Never know when someone will come out of a bush, bolt or pistol at the ready. Keep your voice down. Never know who might be listening. Nobody of consequence. Think of me as an archivist. I collect that which the corporations have dismissed as failures and try to sweep under the rug. Take the recalled Spacer's Choice Powerhead. It was a shotgun shell on a stick, apparently supposed to be used like a spear. Had a tendency to ream the user's torso with buckshot. Corps don't want the common man to know about screw-ups like that, which is why I keep my actions decidedly in the shadows. I did. Someone I paid to inform on the orchards after I heard murmurs of a prize here. For security reasons, I never learned much about my contacts. All I knew about this one was that they were a groundskeeper. But the one here is either senseless or acting very well. Presumably, whoever I was in contact with was lying. Or they were found out and hurled off the side of Eridanos. It's a risk of the business.